What do you get when you take a perfectly functioning device, remove most of the I/O, and charge people more money for it? That's right, folks, you get the MacBook. So do you go out and spend all the money you didn't save on an array of dongles? Do you peacefully rampage your aggressions on social media? Or just maybe you could pick up one of these puppies? This, my friends, is the Linedock. Is it going to be good enough to fill that gaping I/O hole left by Apple? Well, there's only one way to find out. The Linedock comes exquisitely packaged with the device and its accompanying reading material. I highly recommend going through this booklet as it actually contains some important considerations while using the Linedock. Now, very cheekily, Linedock have included a slide-out tray as part of the box. They're so confident that you're not going to need your dongles ever again that they actually call this the graveyard. It's even got a polite little bye in there. That made me chuckle. The device is beautifully made with aluminium and very closely resembles the base of the MacBook Pro. It looked like someone ripped off the head of a MacBook and embellished it with proper I/O. The only thing to take note of here is that you wouldn't want your MacBook and Linedock in the same pouch in your bag, as one or both of them may get scratched. So perhaps invest in a sleeve or two to keep your devices looking spiffy. So what exactly does the Linedock replace? This is no ordinary dock. I would say it combines a couple of things. First and foremost, a USB-C dock or dongle, a power bank, and an external hard drive. Now, if that combination sounds both strange and familiar to you, that's because it's everything you probably have in your laptop bag. That's also how I'm going to segment this review. First, we'll look at I/O, then power, and finally, storage. I/O-wise, the Linedock extends your MacBook Pro's famished selection to one that offers the accoutrements of a 5-course meal. There's a total of 3 USB Type-C ports, one of which is used for charging the Linedock, an SD card slot, mini display and HDMI ports, and finally 3 USB 3.0 Type A ports. Check out the article, which will be linked in the description below, for the full specs on all the ports. So I/O-wise, that is pretty much everything you need, with one exception, and that's the LAN port. Not going to be a big deal for the majority of people, but it kinda is for me. While my MacBook is docked at my desk, I need a LAN connection as I'm normally editing videos off my server. Like this video you're watching right now is an example. Now, you can plug in an Ethernet adapter into the Linedock, but that's kind of defeating the point. Other than that, you've got every other port you need. The Linedock supports a single 4K display up to 60 Hz, either via the USB Type-C, HDMI, or mini display port. So regardless of which display you have, unless it's VGA or DVI exclusively, in which case I think you've got slightly bigger problems, the Linedock has you covered. Moving on to power, the Linedock has a 20,000 mAh battery, which is enough power to supply a small country. So you could effectively fully charge your 13-inch MacBook Pro and still have about 6,000 mAh to play with. But total milliamp hours is only half the story, because there's no point having capacity when you can't charge fast enough. The Linedock can output up to 60 watts through a single port. So if you have something that can take advantage of that level of charging, like your 13-inch MacBook Pro, you're not going to be left trickle charging. When a charger is connected, the Linedock can also support up to 100 watts of pass-through charging. Now, you can charge up to 6 devices simultaneously, so you may run into a scenario where your required charging is more than the budget. So the Linedock will actually take care of sharing the power, and if necessary, wait till 1 or 2 of the devices are fully charged before rerouting the power to the remaining ones. So it's actually not just a power bank then, it's actually an intelligent power distributor as well. The last thing when it comes to power is what's called Saiyan mode. If you're an anime fan, you will know this is an ode to the Dragon Ball series. Saiyan mode works by double-clicking the battery indicator button and turns the LED indicators yellow. The rationale behind this is that your MacBook needs only 30 watts of power to sustain its battery life. But you may want to actually fast charge it, which is what Saiyan mode is for. You will have to use it in unstacked mode, as the Linedock gets a little toasty and you wouldn't want to melt any polar ice caps by having your hot MacBook atop the hot Linedock. On to storage. The Linedock comes in 3 flavors, starting at no storage, 256 gig and 1 terabyte. It is an M.2 SSD, which runs at SATA 3, but it is upgradable if you have one that you prefer to use. If you're someone that needs to dual boot, you can use the Linedock's built-in storage to boot off, and it also makes a handy place to store your Time Machine backups. One very cool Easter egg is that when you open the Linedock, it detects that you've removed its undergarments and puts a little show for you, letting you know where the product was designed and assembled. Did they have to do that? Of course not. But it does add to the character of what the company behind the Linedock wants you to know. Where Apple has fallen short and removed things that should already have come standard, Line has stepped in and filled that gap. I know this is marketed for MacBooks, but I've seen people use it with Huawei and Lenovo devices as well, with all the ports being completely functional. Down to the $1 million question then. is it worth it? If you had to tally up the price for everything that the Linedock replaces, such as a power bank, external SSD, dongles, and a power distributor, you'd end up paying around $256, which is around $150 less than the cost of a Linedock. But it's not really an apples to apples comparison, is it? As none of those devices are going to provide you with the one cable experience or space saving that the Linedock has. You're paying a premium for a premium device that looks and feels the part. My only issue is that I think this is more designed for on the go as opposed to a dock, and let me tell you why. Take this Belkin dock for example. It's $100 cheaper than the Linedock, and it has a LAN port, it supports Thunderbolt 3, as well as 2 4K displays or even a single 5K display. Now granted, this isn't portable and it doesn't have an SSD, but it's more suited to being a dock, for my use case anyway. But if you don't need wired Ethernet and you're looking for more ports on your MacBook Pro, please don't waste time buying directly from Apple. The Linedock far exceeds anything they bring into the table and then some. It really is the Swiss Army knife of MacBook accessories, and you're not going to find anything like it. You're paying a little more, but you are getting exceptional build quality and extra room in your bag. If you own a 15-inch MacBook Pro, never fear, because Line is coming out with a 15-inch version to quench your thirst for ports. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out the full review on our site for a closer look at the Linedock, and stay subscribed to make use of for more content. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.